Hi, my name is Aliyah Amni and we are from group number 5 in class BAA6C. I'm going to start our presentation in this video starting off with what is Ar-RAHNU. Ar-RAHNU is classified as one of the country's Islamic microfinance institution, which is an Islamic pawnbroking system. Borrowers obtain finance from Ar-RAHNU operators when they pawn their valuable asset. Despite the similarity between Ar-RAHNU and conventional pawn shop, Ar-RAHNU offers unique and specialized service to cater specifically to Muslim customer. Ar-RAHNU follows the Sharia requirement of not having riba, thus it is interest-free. Ar-RAHNU is a debt system in which the creditor take the proceeds from the sale of the pledged property after the pledgee fails to pay the pledgor. The creditor will only be entitled to the amount owed by the debtor if the value of the collateral exceeds the debt. The balance will be returned to the owner if the value of the collateral exceeds the debt. Next, we're going to talk about the issue arises in Ar-RAHNU.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Fikrey bin Muhammad Zakri and I'll be continuing with the Ar-RAHNU issues. The first issue in hand is regarding the Islamic jurist issues. Without further ado, let's start off with the first issue. Regarding the debtor receiving benefits from the pledged property, jurists have a variety of opinions. According to the Shafi'i jurist, the debtor is permitted to use the pledged property so long as doing so does not harm the creditor. The Hanafi, Hanbali, and Maliki jurists, on the other hand, decreed that the debtor is not allowed to profit from the pledged property while it is still being pledged. The Hanafi legal system permits the debtor to use the pledged property only with the creditor's consent. Consequently, in the majority's opinion, the creditor is not permitted to use the property pledged in any way. The second R&U issues that we have chosen, that is the marhun issues. So without further ado, let's start off with the issues. Benefiting from the value of a pawn item, which is also known as marhun by the IFIS, that is the International Financial Institutions, and IPS, raises another Sharia concern. However, the question of why the wadiah damanah was made after the financial commitment was made by the IFIS or IPS through the loan or card emerges. Even after a financial obligation has been established, wadiah damanah continues. After the card contract was completed, the contract for Ar-RAHNU should begin to take effect with the intention of keeping the pledged item as marhun. So that's why the marhun is a big issue for the Ar-RAHNU provider to tackle, because it involved the international financial institutions and IPS. That's why the BNM, Bank Negara Malaysia, has been involved in this kind of issues to guide the Ar-RAHNU providers so that there won't be any challenges or issues regarding this marhun appears in the Ar-RAHNU provider in Malaysia. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Puteri Nur Aqilah and I will be presenting the first and the second opportunity. The first opportunity is the scarcity of credit for consumption purposes. Despite the existence and availability of illegal financial institutions, bank for private loans and traditional pawnbroking facilities, the expansion of Islamic pawnbroking facilities appears to have made stronger inroads into the strictly regulated and varied financial industry. Islamic pawnbroking does not impose any limits or conditions on how the funds must be spent. Islamic pawnbrokers are comparatively very affordable with monthly fees often averaging around 1% compared to the other informal loan sources like moneylenders and traditional pawnbrokers who may charge interest rates of 2 to 20%. Since the safekeeping costs are fully paid, the credit's length may be increased forever. No other finance institutions will grant credit for the kind of collateral owned by the clients. The credit may be utilized for a long-term purpose. The second opportunity is increasing the input in terms of labor or capital. A study shows that the majority of the Ar-RAHNU branches were seeing growing returns to scale in their business operations. This implies that most Ar-RAHNU branches may still increase their companies by increasing the labor or cash they invest into their running operations. This indicates that most Ar-RAHNU branches can enhance their performance by improving their inputs. The consequences is that the Ar-RAHNU company can indirectly produce more employment for the community while also requiring more funding from contributors.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Puteri Nur Afiqah and I will continue on opportunity 3. The third opportunity is interest-free source of microcredit. Microcredit has developed as a significant tool for alleviating poverty in developing nations, and the emergence of Ar-RAHNU as one of the microcredit instruments, which is an interest-free source of microcredit, has provided clients with the choice of selecting the finance service provider for funding. As for the challenge, the first one is illegal money lending, ARLO. The traditional pawnbroking system, unlawful money lending, often known as ARNU, has created a new issue for Islamic pawnbroking. In Malaysia, ARNU activity is commonly practiced as an illegal activity. There is no need for collateral. Such illicit business is on the rise, with vacant syndicates begging for borrowers in need of cash but lacking gold to back up their claim. The problem for ar-Rahnu is that even those with gold jewelry look for such loans because they may borrow up to 90% of its value, yet pay high and unjust interest. Lenders will use extreme measures such as threatening behavior or even murder in the case of a default.
Okay, for the next challenge for ar-Rahnu, higher margin of financing. The existence of the ar-Rahnu sector is critical to Malaysia's economic progress. Nonetheless, in order to survive in their operation, the higher margin of financing supplied by traditional pawnbroking organization is one of the most significant hurdles for Islamic pawnbroking. Consumer might be negotiate the loan amount with the officer in accordance with perceived value of the culture while using traditional pawnbroking. In extreme case, the loan amount might be as high 85% to 90% of the jewelry worth. In contrast to the ar-Rahnu, the majority of operations provide a lesser margin of financing, ranging from 65% to 80% of the marham worth. This is one of the primary reasons why the most clients still seek funding from the traditional pawnbroker or illicit house. Okay, for the last part of challenging, lack of knowledge of awareness among the society. There is a lack of knowledge, awareness of society or ar-Rahnu activities among the general public, especially for non-Muslim. Islamic pawnbroker or ar-Rahnu is not well known to the general public. This is a present hurdle to the sector, particularly in effort to increase its market share relative to alternative type of funding. Most clients are hesitant to utilize Islamic pawn shop service because they are seen as item for the poor or small enterprise by society. There is a challenge to ar-Rahnu owner, implying that they should improve their advertising and marketing campaign in order to raise awareness among the client in Malaysia, regardless of race.
In conclusion, Islamic pawn shop in Malaysia have an enormous potential for society development if the issue in Islamic pawn shop activities can be resolved. The Islamic pawnbroking system has the ability to meet customer demands and influence short-term credit structure in the country. Compared to the conventional pawnbroking, their key strengths are riba-free transaction, transparent in transaction, and low borrowing costs. Whether it is the state government or the federal government, policymakers should oversee ar-Rahnu operation to ensure that they comply with Sharia rules and emphasize on the social benefit of the customer rather than maximizing profit like conventional pawnbrokers. In spite of this, the Islamic scheme should not only be available to a certain group but also be extended to others so that every citizen can benefit from the system that was derived from the Islamic principle. It can provide an effective solution to the financial problem facing Muslims in this country due to its implementation based on Sharia ruling. That's all from us. Thank you for listening.